Imagine you're at a picnic for the 4th of July. What do you see? What can you smell? I see an ice-cold pitcher of fresh lemonade. I smell sizzling hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill. What about dessert? I smell cinnamon, freshly baked apples, and a warm, crumbly crust. Is there anything more American than a homemade apple pie? If you answered yes, you are correct. Contrary to popular belief, apple pie is not American. Apple pie is one of the easiest and most delicious desserts to make for friends and family. It is also my most requested dessert. Today, I would like to share with you the 3 reasons why apple pie became an American symbol: cookbooks, war, and Betty Crocker. Let's begin with the colonial cookbooks. The colonists who came to America brought their cookbooks with them filled with recipes for pies. They mostly ate meat pies, but they also enjoyed fruit pies. One of the most popular fruit pie to make was the apple pie. What's Cooking America stated that England had an abundance of apple pies in the 1600s, but the only apple tree that was native to North America was the crabapple tree. The colonists shipped apple seedlings from England to America and planted them throughout the colonies. We have talked about how apples came to America. Now let's consider the role that they played during the Civil War and World War II. When soldiers began coming home after the Civil War, there was a focus on the family and Reconstruction. The mothers and wives of the home were looking for recipes that were familiar to them and food that was comforting for their husbands and sons when they were coming home from the war. Apple pie was the go-to recipe for families after the war due to its familiarity and comfort. During World War II, apple pie became nationally recognizable. The obsession and love for apple pie was at its height. Not only was it being made at home by mothers and wives, it was also being sold at restaurants. In the article, How Apple Pie Became American, the author states that many soldiers were quoted to have said they were fighting the war for mom and apple pie. We have talked about the role the wars played in the symbolism of apple pie. Now let's consider Betty Crocker in the American household. Betty Crocker was created in 1921 by the company Gold Medal Flour. The company was looking for a spokesperson to answer questions from the public about cooking and baking. She quickly became a household name and was known as the First Lady of Food. According to the story of Betty Crocker on BettyCrocker.com, a radio show was broadcast for 4 months in 1945 dedicated to recipes for rationed foods. During this time, Betty Crocker suggested minimizing the amount of dough used on apple pie by rolling the dough thinner for the crust and making a lattice design on the top of the pie compared to covering the pie completely. Apple pie is an American symbol, although it did not originate in America. Apple pie has deep roots in this country and can be traced back to colonial times. It became a symbol of patriotism and family for the American people. That delicious apple pie you smell may stem from England, but there truly aren't many other things that are more American than an apple pie. Now I'm going to show you 2 apple pies. The first apple pie, as you can see, it has a lattice design on it, just like Betty Crocker used during the rationing in the 40s. The second apple pie I'm going to show you is your typical apple pie. It only has a small amount of holes, unlike the lattice design. Thank you.